What if I told you that Americans can no longer just show up in Europe the way they used to? No visa interviews, no embassy appointments, but new systems, new checks, and new rules are quietly changing how Americans enter Europe. If you're planning a trip to Europe, whether for vacation, long stays, or digital nomad travel, these new EU travel rules matter. And misunderstanding them could mean delays, denied boarding, or being turned away at the border. In this video, I'm breaking down the new European Union travel rules that affect American travelers, what's changing, what's staying the same, and how to travel smoothly under the new system. The European Union is modernizing its border systems. For decades, travelers, including Americans, entered Europe with passport stamps and minimal digital tracking. That system is being replaced. The goals are simple: improve border security, track overstays more accurately, standardize entry across EU countries, reduce reliance on passport stamps. These changes affect visa-free travelers, not just people applying for visas. That includes US passport holders. One of the biggest changes for Americans is ETIAS, which stands for the European Travel Information and Authorization System. Important clarification: ETIAS is not a visa. It's a pre-travel authorization that Americans must apply for before entering most EU and Schengen countries. It works similarly to systems the US and other countries already use. For Americans, ETIAS means you apply online before traveling, you pay a small fee, approval is usually fast, it's linked electronically to your passport. You will not be allowed to board your flight to Europe without it once fully enforced. Before ETIAS, Americans could decide to fly to Europe last minute with just a passport. Under the new system, spontaneous travel requires a little planning. ETIAS does not reduce how long Americans can stay, replace visa-free travel, change tourism rules, but it does add a pre-screening step, increase airline checks before boarding, create a digital record of entries. The biggest risk for travelers isn't denial, it's forgetting to apply. Another major change is the entry-exit system, or EES. This replaces passport stamps with a digital system that records entry dates, exit dates, overstays, biometric data like fingerprints or facial scans. For Americans, this matters because overstays will now be tracked automatically. In the past, stamps could be missed or unclear. Under EES, the system knows exactly how long you stayed. This doesn't reduce your allowed stay, but it removes ambiguity. Americans are still allowed 90 days within any 180-day period in the Schengen Area. That rule has not changed. What has changed is enforcement. Under the new systems, overstays are easier to detect. Border officers rely on data, not stamps. Accidental overstays are harder to argue. For long-term travelers and digital nomads, this makes accurate day counting essential. The flexibility Americans once relied on is shrinking. These rules apply mainly to Schengen Area countries and most EU member states. They do not apply the same way to Ireland and some non-Schengen European countries. Americans should stop thinking of Europe as one zone and start thinking country by country and system by system. For Americans who travel long-term, work remotely, or slow travel in Europe, these changes don't eliminate opportunities, but they require better planning. You must track days carefully, plan exits and re-entries legally, consider non-Schengen countries strategically, and use long-stay visas when appropriate. The era of casual border hopping in Europe is ending. The era of strategic travel planning is here. The biggest mistakes include showing up without ETIAS, assuming rules are the same as before, miscounting Schengen days, confusing EU and non-EU countries. None of these mistakes are malicious, but under the new systems, mistakes are visible immediately. Smart travelers should apply for ETIAS early, track Schengen days digitally, keep copies of travel documents, understand which countries reset stays and which don't. Preparation is the difference between smooth travel and stressful borders. Let's be clear and calm unnecessary fear. Americans still enjoy visa-free travel, still have strong passport privileges, still have access to Europe. This is not a loss of freedom. It's a shift in how that freedom is managed. Europe isn't closing its doors to Americans. It's upgrading the locks. If you understand the new rules, travel remains easy, flexible, and rewarding. If you ignore them, travel becomes stressful very quickly. If this video helped you, like the video, subscribe for smart travel updates, comment if you're planning a Europe trip soon. Travel smarter. The rules are changing, but the world is still open. Thank you for watching.